All right. So thank you for joining me for yoga tonight. So we will go ahead and get started. Just come to a comfortable seated position on the floor. So you can cross your legs if that feels good. And then we'll take a minute here. Just roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And then just allow the hands to rest on your lap. So maybe palms facing up if that feels good. We'll start to close the eyes here. And just begin to tune in with our breath, with our body as we begin our practice tonight. So go ahead, bring one hand to the heart space, one hand to the belly. And without changing anything, just feel the breath flowing in and out of the body. So with each inhale, just feel the chest and the belly rise. On the exhale, feel them soften. And so we'll start to take control of our breath here, really beginning to lengthen and expand each inhale and exhale. So really just slowing down the breath. So all together, we'll take a nice big inhale breath. And feel the breath flowing in through the nose, down the throat, sending it all the way to the low belly. As you continue to breathe in here, really feel the belly expanding, rising, filling up completely. And exhale, release the breath. So feel it flowing from the belly, up through the chest, out the throat, all the way up and back out through the nose. Another big deep inhale through the nose. Send the breath to the low belly. Think of the belly expanding like a balloon here as you breathe in, filling up the belly, and then breathing all the way up into the chest space. Good. Exhale, send the breath out in the opposite direction. So we'll take about 3 more cycles of our deep belly breathing. So feel free to breathe at your own pace here. And just focusing on making each cycle of breath a little bit deeper than the one that came before it. So all together, let's take one more deep cycle of breath. Try to make this your biggest inhale yet. Really send the breath deep into the body. Exhale, let it go. Good. From here, we'll slowly start to bring the hands off the body. Flutter the eyes open when you're ready. We'll inhale, sweep both hands up overhead. Bring hands to heart center here. Hold for one breath. Good, and release. So we'll start in our seated position for our practice tonight. Let's come into shoelace pose. So we'll cross the legs even more. Think about bringing the knees in line with each other here. So if they don't come all the way over, that's okay. Just from where we started, see if you can bring them in a little bit closer, making that shoelace pose. So we'll do it on both sides. I'm starting with my right leg on the bottom, left leg on top. Doesn't really matter because we'll do both sides. So from here, we're going to start to stretch out the arms as we're holding our legs in a nice stretch here. So go ahead, plant the left hand down, inhale, extend the right arm up overhead. So just holding in this nice side stretch here, reaching through the entire right side of the body. So from the right fingertips all the way down the side body to the sit bones. Should feel like a nice big stretch here. And then we'll move into the opposite side. So plant down the right hand, Extend the left arm up overhead, reach through the fingertips. Get a nice big side stretch here. Perfect, and then we'll just start to pick up the pace a little bit here. So just flowing from one side to the other. Moving as fast or as slow feels good in your body. Go at your own pace, your own rhythm. Good, so we'll bring both hands down to the mat for a moment here. Maybe give yourself an assist just to uncross the legs. Then when you're ready, we'll cross them in the opposite direction. So this time we'll have left leg on the bottom, right leg on top. Find our shoelace pose on this side. When you're ready, sweep that right arm up overhead, reach to the side. Good, go ahead and flow from side to side. Maybe noticing how the body feels a little bit different with the opposite leg crossed over here. Now I'm feeling more of a stretch on my left hip than I did on the other side. So just know as we move throughout our practice today, listen to your body. Try to give you lots of options, lots of modifications, but always take things at your own pace. You should never feel any pain in yoga. Good stretch is perfect, but you don't want any pain. So from here, inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And release. Good, we'll uncross the legs. We'll find a nice big wide-legged stretch here. So ground down through the sit bones, move your feet apart as wide as feels good. Then you can stay up tall with the upper body if that feels good. Maybe bringing the hands on top of the thighs or just on the ground in front of you. We're gonna hold this one for about 4 breaths. So you can start up tall if it feels good. You can also reach your hands out in front of you, maybe folding forward. You can come down to forearms if that feels okay. So wherever you are, just find a variation here that you can hold. And if you lost that connection with our deep inhales and exhales, we'll start to bring it back. So think about sending that breath really deep into the body. Think about sending it all the way to your toes in this stretch. Long, slow inhale, big, deep exhale. Good, so 3 more times as we hold here. So for our last couple of breaths here, we'll leave the legs where they are, but feel free to join me in just moving the arms a little bit. So you can keep your hands on the mat in front of you, or if it feels okay, you can bring the left arm down to the mat. So coming down to the back of the arm, palm facing up, and then extend the right arm up towards the sky here. So another nice big side stretch. If that doesn't feel good in your body, just go back to the first variation we started here. Good, big breath here. When you're ready, we'll go to the other side. So this time, right arm comes down to the inside of the leg. Lengthen and extend. Send the left arm up towards the ceiling here. And breathe. And then we'll bring both hands down. Slowly start to bring the upper body back up. Gently draw the knees together here. Take your time. Give yourself a nice big hug. So draw the knees in towards the chest. You can around the back body. Hug it in. Good, and release. So from here, keep the soles of the feet planted. We'll just let the knees windshield wiper out. So knees can fall from side to side here a few times. It's really starting to loosen up our hips and our legs. Beautiful. All right, so when you're ready, let's turn over, meeting in tabletop pose. So finding our hands and our knees. Just take a minute to come into proper alignment. So we want wrists and shoulders in line, hips and knees in line. And then from here, we'll come into our cat-cow. So really starting to wake up our spine for practice. So let's start with a cat. So really round the back here, tuck the chin in. Exhale. And then we'll move into cow pose. So for cow pose, really let the belly drop down towards the mat. And bring the gaze up a little bit higher. Good. Send the sitting bones up tall on this one. Big inhale. Exhale, round the back, moving through cat pose again. Really drawing chin in towards the chest. Good, big deep inhale here as we drop the belly, cow pose. Knees can come up a little bit. So feel free to move at your own pace here. Just going through about 3 more rounds of our cat cows. Perfect. From here, we'll meet back in a neutral spine. Then we're gonna start to stretch out the arms a little bit more. So let's start by keeping the right hand planted. Send the left arm up towards the ceiling. Reach for the sky. Good, release that hand back down to the mat. And then we'll go into the right side. So keep the left hand planted. Lengthen and extend through the right side. Good, and release that hand back down to the mat. Perfect. From here, we'll take a toe stretch. So start to tuck under all 10 toes. Maybe reach back, help yourself tuck all those toes if they don't want to go under on their own. And then we'll begin to walk the hands a little closer to the knees. So maybe your hands will stay on the floor in front of you. Maybe they'll start to walk up, coming onto the thighs. So the further you bring the hands up on your body, the deeper you're going to feel that stretch in the feet and the toes. So just take it to wherever feels good. I like to do this little toe stretch before we come into any standing poses, just to really stretch out our feet and make sure we have everything warmed up for practice. So from here, we'll slowly start to make our way back into tabletop. Untuck the toes, and then just pump the feet up and down a few times here. Just shaking them out. Yeah, that should feel nice after that little stretch. Good, bring the feet back down to the mat. From here, we'll just start to extend our legs, and we're gonna lower belly down to the mat, come all the way down. We'll do one more arm stretch here on the belly. So start by extending the left arm out to the side. So maybe bringing it at like a 90-degree angle from your body or up to 45. And then from here, we're gonna bring the left cheek down and just start to roll our body over to the left side. So maybe stack the legs and roll onto the side body. Or if it feels good, you can bend the top leg, plant the foot down here. So we're stretching that shoulder and arm, also adding in a little stretch here for the leg. We'll hold for about 3 breaths on each side. Good, one more breath on this side. And we'll start to roll back over onto the stomach. Good, this time bring the left hand in beside your body. We'll extend the right arm long. So finding whatever angle feels good, and then we'll slowly start to roll over onto the right side. So right forehead or cheek can be resting on the mat. Maybe stack the legs, or you can bring that left leg behind the body this time. And just turning over onto the right side as far as feels good. Hold for 3 breaths on this side. One more big inhale. Long, slow exhale. When you're ready, roll back over onto the front body. And then from here, we'll find a Sphinx pose. I'm not sure if we've done this one yet. So basically, just keep the legs and the top of the feet resting on the mat. And we'll press ourselves up onto forearms here. So coming onto forearms, palms facing down to the mat here. And then think about really engaging all of the fingers. So hands really pressing deep into the mat. See if you can relax the upper legs, the back of the thighs, the glutes. And this is mostly just the back body working here. So if that feels too intense, go ahead and bring the forehead down to the mat. Just let your arms rest by your side. If this is feeling okay for your back, we'll hold for about 2 more breaths. Breathe. Legs can be about hip width apart, or if you want to bring the feet together, that's good too. Whatever feels best for you. Good. After our next exhale, we'll slowly start to come back down. Go ahead and stack the hands. Just let the forehead rest on your hands for a moment. Take a breath. Good. And then from here, we'll find our bow pose. So we'll do it twice if we're doing full bow. If you want to take the half variation, go ahead and take half. So half bow is just bending one leg, reaching to the inside of the foot, and the opposite leg will stay on the ground. That's your half bow. If you want to take full bow, we'll reach back and come onto the inside of both feet. So whatever variation you want to take, I'm going to do half bow here so I can keep track of the time. Go ahead and come into your first bow pose. So big, deep inhale, exhale, kick back into the hand here. If you're doing half bow, the opposite forearm and hand can just rest on the mat in front of you. Gaze can be down towards the mat. If you're doing full bow, feel like a nice big stretch here through the legs, through the shoulders. Take one more breath and release. Come all the way back down. Take a moment here, just rest your forehead down and breathe. Good, and then we'll come into the other side. So if you did half bow the first time, reach for the opposite leg or find your full bow again. Go ahead, reach for the inside of the foot. Big, deep inhale. Exhale, kick back into the hand. If you want to come a little bit deeper, you can just reach back with the hands, kick the feet into the hands there, and that'll open up the stretch a little bit more. So just holding for 2 more breaths on this side. And gently start to release here. Slowly let go of the foot, come all the way back down. Good, take a minute, catch your breath. All right, we are gonna get ready for our Superman here. So we'll do 2 of these as well tonight, working our abs a little bit tonight. So just bring your hands beside your body, palms facing down. And then from here, we're gonna start to engage the core muscles. Big, deep inhale and exhale, fly. Lift the legs up, lift the arms up. And while we're lifting the legs and the arms, we want our head to come out straight. So nice long line through the neck. Make sure we're not hunching up or really wrenching on our neck. We want it to be nice and long. Feel the legs working, the arms working here. Reaching, lengthen and extend for 1 more breath. Good, and release everything back down. Rest onto one cheek, just wiggle it all out. Take a breath. And then we'll do that 1 more time. This time we'll see if we can keep the legs zipped together. So think about bringing both big toes together. Arms can be by your side. Big, deep inhale breath. Exhale, lift the legs up, lift the arms up here. So our core is working lots. Doing our best to hug those legs in tight together. Keep the arms tight by your side. Maybe see if you can lift a little bit higher. Good, and release everything down. Awesome. From here, we are just gonna find child's pose. So press yourself back up. Draw the big toes together. Knees can be as wide as your mat here. Press through the hands and sit the hips back. Your forehead can come all the way down. Just take a minute to breathe. So 2 more breaths in child's pose. All right, we'll start to press ourselves up from child's pose, finding tabletop again. Pull my mat out here. So from tabletop, we're gonna come into a supported half plank. So we will start here by just turning the right foot out behind us. So keeping the knee on the mat, but kind of turning that foot behind the back body. Then from there, we'll lengthen the left arm, lengthen the right leg, plant the foot into the mat, and extend that left arm up overhead. Good, so reaching through the left side. And then you can choose to keep the arm reaching straight up, or if it feels good, it can reach in a nice long line from the side. Good, from here, we're gonna go into our warrior poses, but we're gonna stay down on the mat today instead of standing. So keep your legs just as they are. We'll engage the core, rise up here. So finding warrior two. So we've got our left leg planted, right knee on the mat. Lengthen the arms, extend through the fingertips on each side. Really reach. And then we'll find a reverse warrior. So let the left arm come down the back leg. Right arm reaches up and over. Nice little side bend here. Reaching over as far as feels good. Good, and then from here, we'll plant that right hand back down. Lengthen and extend left arm overhead. And you can keep reaching in a nice long line through the left arm, or maybe pull the chest through a little bit and reach that arm back behind the body. That feels good. And this one is a reverse wild thing. So just hold here for one more breath. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll plant the left hand back down. Come back to tabletop here, take a breath. Good, I'm just gonna turn to face the opposite way and we'll go for the other side. So one more cycle of breath. And then from here, we'll start by turning that left foot behind us and straighten the right leg, plant the sole of the foot. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Perfect. Take a couple of breaths here. And then if it feels good, you can lengthen and extend the arm up to the side. So nice long line here from the right fingertips all the way down to the foot, the sole of the foot. Perfect. All right, so from here, we're gonna engage our core first and then think about pulling our upper body up, finding our warrior two arms here. Keep that right foot planted. Perfect, from here we can reverse our warrior. So left arm reaching up overhead, right hand can come down the back leg. Breathe. Good, from here we'll come back to center here, plant the left hand, reach the right arm up overhead, and choose to keep that nice long line on the side body, or maybe think about pulling the chest through here, kind of turning over onto the back as we reach that right arm back. Lengthen and extend here. Good, one more breath. Then we'll cartwheel the arms back down, finding tabletop again here. Take a breath. From here, we'll move into puppy pose. So keeping the knees just as they are, knees and hips stay in line, we'll start to walk the hands forward. So first of all, walking the hands forward, reaching through the arms. When you're ready, you can start to bring forehead all the way down. So lower forehead to the mat. Really keeping the palms of the hands, the fingertips all engaged here as we lengthen through the arms. Perfect, we'll hold here for 2 more breaths. Good, when you're ready to come out of puppy pose, press into the hands first, lift the forehead off, and we'll gently start to walk those hands back, finding tabletop again. Good, from tabletop, we'll start to move into our first downward dog of the day. So press the hips high here, ground down through the soles of the feet. Press into the hands. Take a minute here just to settle into downward dog. So maybe pedal the feet out a little bit. You can walk your dog out here. Just take a couple of breaths. And then as you're ready, we'll start to step towards the top of the mat. So just bringing our feet behind the hands, coming into a little forward fold here. So allow the upper body to completely dangle here. Shoulders, neck, all relaxed. Hands can be down towards the floor. Maybe reach for opposite elbows. Good. From here, we'll take a nice big inhale. Reach up to standing. Reach the hands high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Let's take a breath in mountain pose here. So roll the shoulders back and down. Palms face forward. Big inhale. Good. And then we're going to find warrior one. So just stepping the right foot back. We'll square the hips towards center here. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Lunge into both legs. Reaching the arms up. Perfect. 2 more breaths here. And then from here, we'll turn both feet to face the front of the room. And we're just going to come all the way down here, wide-legged forward fold. So again, just let the upper body fold wherever it lands here. Maybe reach for opposite elbows. Take 2 more breaths here. And if you want to add some movement to the arms, you can join me. We'll plant the left hand down. Inhale, reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Nice twist through the right side body. Good. Exhale, plant the right hand down. Big, deep inhale. Left arm reaches up to the side. Good. Exhale, bring both hands down. Now from our forward fold, we'll transition into yogi squat. So now I want to move my camera so everybody can see me here. All right, so we'll find our feet a little bit wider than hip width. Turn the toes out. Bring hands to hips or to heart center, and we'll slowly start to come down here, finding our nice deep squat. So if it feels like the floor is a long ways away, you can always sit on a pillow or a blanket. Or maybe you'll come all the way down, join me in a little squat here. So feel free to move the feet wherever feels good. Bring hands to heart center. I always like to take the elbows and think about pressing the knees apart here. So in this pose, we're doing a lot of stretching here. We're stretching the legs, the hips, stretching through the arms, the shoulders. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure you're not hunching up. We want nice long neck, nice relaxed shoulders here. 1 more breath. Good. Then we'll gently start to release the hands down, press the hips up, finding 1 more wide-legged forward fold here. Good, and then when you're ready, we're just gonna turn our feet to the right side and find our warrior one on that side. So turn the front foot towards the front, back foot's at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Good. 2 more breaths here. Maybe lunge a little bit deeper. Perfect. And then when you're ready, we'll start to turn our body back towards the side here. Come into forward fold. So feet are both facing towards the front. Just let the upper body dangle. Maybe grab for opposite elbows. Or this time you can also grab to the outside of the feet. And if that feels good, you can bend the elbows wide and just pull yourself down a little bit closer to the mat. So bend the knees a little or a lot, whatever feels good here. Give the head a little bit of a shake out. Little shake from side to side, yes and no. Perfect. From here, if you want to add in a little side bend, go ahead and plant the hands down, or you can stay just wherever you are. If you plant the hands down, we'll go ahead and send the left fingertips high to start here. Reach the left arm to the ceiling. Good, release that left hand down. Lengthen and extend, reach the right arm this time. 1 more breath here. And lower that right hand back down. And from here, we'll start to come up. We'll get ready to find our yogi squat on this a second time here. So bring the feet a little bit wider from hip distance, turn the toes out, hands and hips are heart center to come down. Slowly lower yourself down here. So lots of work in the hip joints here for this one. Like I said, you can always sit on a prop if that feels good. Hold for 2 more breaths wherever you are in this pose. All right, we'll slowly start to bring the hands in front, send the hips high here. Little fold and then just ragdoll the upper body back up. Good, so we'll find a standing pose here. We'll come into tree pose. So we'll start by grounding down the left foot. We're gonna pick up the right. So you can bring that right foot to the inside of the ankle, maybe the inside of the shin, or if you've done a lot of trees like me, maybe it'll come to the inside of the thigh. So wherever you are, choose to bring hands to hips, maybe to heart center, or you can grow your tree up, reach the arms up overhead. And if you shake and sway a little bit, that's okay. I'm a little bit shaky tonight. So let's hold for 2 more breaths wherever you are in your tree pose. Good. Exhale, release the hands back down. Perfect. Shake the feet out a little bit. And then we'll come into the opposite side. So this time, planting our right foot, pick the left foot up. So bringing that foot to the inside of the ankle, the shin, or the thigh. And then take a moment to square your hips towards the front here. You can have a bend in that standing leg. And then whatever variation feels good for the hands, bring them to heart center. You can keep them on the hips or grow your tree up tall here. Good, holding for 2 breaths in our trees. All right, good job, everybody. Release the hands, release the feet. From here, just turn to face the top of the mat. And we're gonna flow our way down to the mat. So big, deep inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. And then from here, we'll just press back into a downward dog. Hold in downward dog for about 3 breaths. All right, from downward dog, we're gonna find our pigeon pose. So a nice big deep stretch here for the legs. So let's start by bringing the left leg forward. We'll think about bringing the left knee behind the wrist. So left knee behind left wrist, and the shin can be parallel with the top of our mat. So the back leg can be bent as much as feels good. You can be up a little bit higher, or you can start to lengthen and extend by walking that leg back. Just allow the top of the foot to rest down to the ground. So we're gonna hold this one for a little bit longer than we've held our other poses tonight. So about 8 breaths. That just gives us lots of time here to work into the hip joint, into the legs. So choose to keep your hands either planted on the mat, or maybe it feels good for you to come down to forearms. And if you feel like it's not a good pose for you, you can always turn over. Another version here, I'll just demonstrate, is to do a reverse figure 4. So if you'd rather lay on your back, then you can just cross the left ankle on top of the thigh. And that's a reverse pigeon. So come to whatever option feels the best for you today and continue to breathe. just holding on this side for about 2 more breaths. All right, and as you're ready to come out of pigeon on this side, if you did come down, go ahead, plant the hands. We'll bring the upper body up first, and then start to tuck the back toes and very slowly walk that knee in a bit closer. Then whenever you're ready, bring the right knee beside, the left knee beside the right. We'll just take a couple breaths in our tabletop. So if it feels good, you can really sway your hips from side to side. Just finding any movement that your body's asking for right now. And whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and come into that stretch on the right side. So bringing the right knee behind the right wrist, and just start to walk the back leg. So lengthen and extend that leg. So untuck the toes, just let the top of the foot rest. And you can come all the way down to forearms, or maybe even rest your forehead down. If you want to take reverse pigeon again, that's no problem. Just come all the way down to your back, and then we'll bend the right knee, bring the right ankle across the left thigh. Good. So either option is a great stretch there. So find whatever version feels good for you. And we'll start to reconnect with our breath here. So if you lost that connection with your big, deep inhales and exhales, go ahead and find those breaths again. So wherever you are in pigeon on this side, we will hold here for 2 more breaths. All right, we'll gently start to come out of pigeon on this side. So first of all, pressing into the hands, bring the upper body back up. Start to tuck the back toes. Just walk the left knee a little bit closer to the body. Whenever you're ready, find tabletop again. And then maybe just take a sway from side to side again. Rock the hips out here. Good, now we'll turn over onto the back body. So just come all the way down on your mat here. Keep the knees bent, soles of the feet planted on the mat. And then from here, we'll come into some spinal twists. So draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug here. Good, then we'll release our grip here. Just bring your hands by your side. We'll cactus arm our arms. So we're gonna bring them at a bend at the elbow. So just bring them on either side of your body, and then we'll let both knees fall together over to the right side. Good, so this will be a nice big stretch here for the back, for the hips, for the legs. You can keep your gaze just looking up towards the ceiling. So we'll hold for about 2 more breaths on this side. And then we'll start to draw those knees back up towards center. You can leave the hands where they are. Just take a pause right at center. And when you're ready, let the knees fall together over to the left side this time. So keeping a bend in the knees. Nice stretch here for the legs and the arms here. Hold for 2 more breaths on this side. So from here, we'll engage our core first, then draw the knees back towards the chest. Reach the arms over top of the shins. Give yourself a hug again here. So draw those knees in tight. Good, and then from here, release your hands. We'll bend the knees a lot. Flex the feet up towards the ceiling. And then we'll find our grip here on the outside of the feet with the hands, or maybe using our index, middle finger, grab onto the big toes. So coming into happy baby pose. So bend the knees a little or a lot, whatever feels good for you. I like to add a little rock and a little sway from side to side. And that feels really good for the low back. And we did quite a bit of work today for our core, so for our abs, for our back. So it feels good to kind of massage it out. And then from here, we'll start to release our grip on the feet. Just let your hands come back by your side and begin to straighten the legs. So coming into our legs up the wall pose. So straighten the legs as much as feels good. Take a minute just to get any wiggles out of the ankles, out of the feet. So you can move your feet in circles, maybe flex and point the toes. Just getting rid of any last snaps and cracks out of the joints and the toes. Perfect. And then from here, just hold in stillness for about 4 breaths with our legs extended.
She's frozen. Oh, never mind.
Just give for about 2 more breaths. All right, from here, we'll come into one more pose before we find Shavasana. So coming into our reclined butterfly pose. So draw the soles of the feet together. Just let your knees fall out wide. Hands can rest by your side, palms facing up. From here, you can start to just close the eyes if that feels good. Really starting to slow down our breath here. So you can keep your hands by your side, or if you want to bring them back onto your body for our last couple breaths, you can bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And just feel the breath flowing in and out of your body. So see if you can slow it down. As you breathe into the chest, feel that hand rise. And then breathe into the belly and feel that hand rise. Once you've taken in as much air as you can, go ahead and exhale. Feel the belly soften, chest soften. Take about 3 more long, slow breaths here. start to straighten our legs here. If you did bring the hands on top of the body, just let your arms rest by your side. So finding our final resting pose, our Shavasana. So just let everything lengthen and extend. Send your legs long. Just let the heels rest heavy. Toes can turn out wherever they fall. Just let the muscles of the legs completely relax. Unclench the glutes. Let your hips sink into the ground. Just allow the arms to rest heavy by your side. Back of the hands resting on the floor, palms facing up. Soften the shoulders. Just allow any tension that's left in the neck or the jaw, just let it go. Notice the muscles of the face and the forehead. See if you can soften everything, close the eyes. And just imagine like there's a wave washing over the entire body. And as it rolls over you, just bringing with it a sense of complete calm. Allowing your entire being to feel relaxed and at ease. When you're ready, we'll very slowly start to bring a little bit of movement back to our body. So just gently wiggling the toes, maybe shaking the fingers, maybe the ankles, wrists. Keep your eyes closed here, but if you're ready to turn over onto the side body, just bend your knees. Let yourself come onto your side. Maybe bring one arm underneath the head. Let's take a couple of breaths here in our little fetal pose. Whenever you're ready to join me, we'll slowly press ourselves back up. We'll end our practice off today just how we began. So finding that comfortable seated position. Cross the legs. Keep the eyes closed. Bring hands to heart center. Let's take 2 more cycles of breath all together here. A big, deep inhale breath through the nose. Exhale back out through the nose. Good. Last breath here. Big, deep inhale. Exhale, release. Thank you all so much for joining me for yoga tonight. Thanks for sharing your energy and your practice. I hope that you all feel relaxed and stretched out and that you have a good rest of your evening. Namaste. And I will see you all next week.